Greetings again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of OSI Today, the podcast featuring news and views from around the Office of Special Investigations. I'm Wayne Amon from OSI Public Affairs. August 1st, 2023 marks the 75th anniversary of OSI's inception, and throughout the year, the Command is commemorating the occasion based on the theme Inspired by Our Past, OSI's Future Starts Today. And with me to discuss how the 6th Field Investigations Region fits into that scenario is Region 6 Commander, Colonel Benjamin Hatch. Colonel, welcome to the program. Always great to have you chat.
Hey, thanks, Wayne. I'm excited to be here and help tell Region 6's story.
Now let's get right at the beginning, shall we, sir? The region itself was created back in June of 1992. How did that activation originate?
Yeah, sure. So the activation really came about as part of a larger OSI effort that was tied into really our first major reorganization across the entire OSI command since 1948.
Mm-hmm.
And when we activated it, the geographic footprint increased. So really, from the way we were organized before, we grew to include Korea, Japan, the Philippines, and Guam. But ultimately, our end result remained similar to the way the construct was, being more of a geographically aligned. Um, it was probably less visible than other of our regions like
Mm-hmm.
AMC or ACC,
Sure.
and really it was intended to be responsive to an overall reduction in the footprint across the Air Force, so about a 22% reduction. And in doing that, we streamlined really the way the region and more broadly OSI, uh, you know, provided really that same timely, effective, and quality support
Mm-hmm.
to our customers, but in a reduced resource environment.
I see. Okay, very, very good. Now, Colonel, Region 6 is the regional headquarters for all OSI units to identify, exploit, and neutralize criminal, terrorist, and intelligence threats to Pacific Air Forces, the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, Special Operations Command Pacific, three numbered air forces, and 9 subordinate wings. With what unique challenges does that kind of diverse responsibility present for Region 6? That's pretty big responsibility to go under the one region.
Yeah, so I think our largest challenge is information flow.
Mm-hmm.
With all those different customers we support, with all those individuals with equities over a matter, be it aligned to one of our numbered air forces, based in Alaska, in Japan, or in Korea, uh, all that flows back into Pacific Air Forces and the Indo PACOM command.
Right.
Um, and how we do that to ensure that everyone's aware, that everyone has knowledge of the important cases that the team in the field runs, all the way down to threat identification and efforts taken to mitigate that. Uh, that really is a pretty significant challenge that we work to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no doubt about that. And when we talk about challenges, getting to some more numbers here, Colonel, Region 6 headquarters at Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii, for those who may not be familiar where the headquarters is located, it serves over 45,000 Air Force personnel assigned to the Asia Pacific region, spanning 100 million square miles, encompassing 36 countries, including half the world's population, where more than 3,000 languages are spoken. Now, what's been Region 6's key to successfully operating with such an eclectic footprint as that?
Yeah, so what you just described, Wayne, really captures about 52% of the Earth's globe.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty significant geography that we cover down and are responsible for. And really, the only way and the best way we can do this is through the use of Mission Command. So that is really a practice where we empower our field leaders, where we empower our agents at the lowest level by providing them guidance and direction and then letting them use these mission type orders and guidance to get after the things that OSI needs, to get
Hmm.
after the criminal, the fraud, the counterintelligence matters that are important to the defense
Hmm.
of our nation.
Wow, that must make give you some personal satisfaction, Colonel, knowing that the high quality of performance that your folks in Region Six give to something like that must make you very proud to be the commander of that region.
Yeah, we have some amazing people,
Uh-huh.
and the work that they do each and every day. At times, just it's so impressive, and I'm so proud of them. And much of it that we can't talk about, of course,
Sure.
but
Okay.
that we can. We just know that the work that they do helps find the truth, helps get after and identify threats, and really keep our folks and our nation safe.
Right. Now, Colonel, what are some of the mission milestones that Region 6 can reflect on that have defined its very storied legacy?
Yeah, so let me go back in time a little bit because
Hmm.
really, as we talk about the region's history,
Right.
I think it's important to kind of highlight one particular initiative, and that was the Area Source Program.
Hmm.
So this was the product of innovation that OSI had in the 1960s in Vietnam and Thailand, primarily because the units there uh, only had about 27 OSI agents to do like so much work.
Right.
We had 22 agents in Vietnam and 5 in Thailand at the time.
Uh-huh.
And this program uh, was used to develop a network of informants and sources that would provide intelligence information regarding the operations of enemy uh, cells or units in the area that were outside or nearby air bases. And the
Right.
intent there was to help deter attacks. It was
Hmm.
to use those informants and those sources to gather information that could then allow a response
Right.
or the preparation that an attack was coming so that way they could minimize the damage.
Uh-huh.
And really that program is used as a reference point for many of the successes that OSI has had all the way up through Iraq and Afghanistan as it morphed really into counter threat operations.
Hmm. Yeah, that must be an incredible responsibility to give all the special agents that were involved back then, and like today, a lot of them are young as well. So they were thrown right into the fray to begin with. It sounds like.
Well, they had to be innovative, uh, realizing that they only had so much capacity in the needs based off of their authority and their capabilities
Hmm.
were in high demand. So using this outreach really resulted in some incredible mission successes.
No doubt. Now, speaking of individuals, as you look back on the legacy of Region 6, Colonel, who have been some of the significant contributors to Region Six's success throughout the years?
Well, we have a storied past full of exceptional people. But let me
Mhm.
just talk a little bit, Lane, about a couple of them.
Sure, sure.
Uh, the Pacific is honored to have the first believed female OSI agent in the command. That was
Wow.
Major Catherine M. Moran
Mhm.
out in the Far East Air Forces. So she performed investigative duties. This is going back to really the late 40s, early 50s,
Right,
1949. She served out in Japan in Tokyo as the operations division's chief for
mhm,
District 6.
right.
So this is real incredible to have that kind uh, of opportunity such early on out here in the Pacific.
Hmm.
We also have a number of, talking about innovation, just incredible people. And let me talk just for a moment about William Boyd.
Sure.
William Boyd uh, worked during the Cold War on an initiative that was known by a number of code names, including Catboy, Stigmatic, but
Hmm.
later became more commonly known as the Alaska Project.
Uh-huh.
And this was a plan in 1950 that envisioned the employment of a community to work and serve as stay-behind agents as part of an underground intelligence network. So this is in Alaska.
Right.
It included the construction of escape and evasion routes for downed airmen. So these would be our bomber aircraft, our other aircraft that were going to potentially be deployed against the Soviet Union.
Hmm.
Uh, and really, William Boyd comes into play because of his efforts and work during World War II. So he first served as a member of the OSS, um, but then after the war, he became a civilian. And at the time that we sought out his expertise, he was a detective with the Fort Lauderdale, Florida Police Department.
Ah, I see.
And they recruited him back in really to work primarily on the escape and evasion phase.
Hmm.
They brought him back into the Air Force as a captain, and he reported for OSI Academy in 1951, and then left for Alaska 2 months later.
Wow.
So really, his experience kind of drove a need. He served with Second Lieutenant Roy C. Tucker and a Special Agent Harvey uh, Hess, who formed the team responsible for Project Alaska and worked to set up caches for downed airmen and then support networks and intelligence networks that ensured that our airmen who were performing missions and preparing for potential conflict with the Soviet Union, that if they were down, that we didn't leave them behind, that we had a network and system in place to retrieve them and bring them back to friendly forces.
Right. Is it safe to say, Colonel, that those gentlemen you just mentioned were pretty much trailblazers, for OSI and especially in the Alaska region?
I believe so. I mean, their work that they did early on really set conditions for future successes. Their successes ensured that we were able to continue operations and set in motion, um, a legacy of excellence across the command.
Hmm.
Um, I had a
And
couple others, Wayne,
go
that I
ahead,
wanted
sir.
to
Sure.
talk
No,
about,
no,
if
we're
that's
no, we're
okay.
we're good on time and everything. Sure, go ahead.
Uh, there's one individual in particular that stands out, and that is Richard Sakakita. Uh,
Hmm.
this is a member that was inducted into the OSI Hall of Fame in 1998.
Hmm.
Born in Maui, Hawaii, and of Japanese heritage, he was recruited into the Army in 1941 and later became an undercover agent.
Yeah.
In that capacity, uh, he attempted to identify Japanese agents and military members in the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
He became a prisoner of war where he was tortured, but he later escaped. Ultimately, he became a commissioned officer in the Air Force and an OSI agent in 1948, where he served 28 years as an OSI agent, retiring as a lieutenant colonel
Hmm.
with the final assignment in Japan, where he was responsible for all OSI operations throughout that country.
Yeah.
And I think what's unique about his story is in Japan, he was credited with using his wartime experience to promote a better understanding between the United States and Japan,
Uh-huh.
not through retribution or malice, but through compassion and friendship.
I see.
And the work that he did, I think we continue to reap the benefits of that through our incredible Japanese partners.
Right. Right. And you said you had another one, sir?
Yeah, if we've got time,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. We're
I
good.
want to talk briefly a little bit about some of the work done in Korea.
Sure.
Uh, so at the onset of the Norse invasion into the South in Korea, this is back in June of 1950.
Hmm.
There was a special agent, Joe Carraway, who on June 26th, so this is the day after the initial invasion,
Right.
Boarded a C-46 transport aircraft that was piloted by the son of General Jimmy Doolittle,
Wow.
and
Okay.
departed
Yeah.
Japan for Busan. So that's in the southern part of now South Korea, Republic
Right.
of Korea.
Hmm.
And Agent Caraway's mission was support from really two agents from another agency, U.S. agency, was to establish a communications network to pass operational information and other intelligence from Korea to the Far East Air Force's headquarters in Japan.
Mm.
And much of Agent Caraway's work was done in partnership with the local police force.
Right.
After a short time, Agent Caraway's relationship with the local police chief helped identify North Korean agents operating in the area who were collecting and reporting on the location of South Korean forces. Agent Caraway used some specialized equipment, some direction finding equipment to help triangulate the location of these North Korean operatives.
Uh-huh.
And with the assistance of the South Korean police, performed a raid on the North Korean agent's safe house.
Mm, wow.
Agent Caraway was then involved in a 2-hour gun battle, but eventually captured the North Korean agents, their radio equipment, and other valuable intelligence. And for his actions, he was awarded the Bronze Star and the Republic of Korea Air Force Merit Badge. So just an incredible story,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the work accomplished during conflict by our OSI airmen.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Colonel. Another person in OSI's storied past that the agents of today can certainly look back on with pride. There's no doubt about that. Sir, let's, if we can, shift gears a little bit, if we may, and pull out your crystal ball. And how would you characterize the future of Region 6 as you see it today?
Yeah, we are so fortunate to be part of what's identified as the Department of Defense's priority theater of operations.
Hmm.
Uh, and throughout this theater and locations around the globe, we face really a growing malign influence in the prospect of continuous competition that challenges a free and open Indo-Pacific, as well as threat of humanitarian and other crises due to natural disasters or dispute between nations, to include conflict linked to a response by certain actions North Korea or China may take that draws condemnation by the international community.
Right.
So our future includes being postured for these situations by providing a ready, credible, and capable force that covers the full spectrum of the OSI mission, from criminal investigations, fraud investigations, counterterrorism, counterintelligence, counterintelligence support to force protection.
Right.
And OSI has proven time and time again that our people are up to that challenge.
Right, no doubt about that. And as you mentioned, I can just tell in the way you're presenting that, Colonel, that you're very proud of being their commander these days, and they've got a bright future ahead of them, no doubt about that. Sir, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you'd like to add about being part of OSI's 75th anniversary observance this year?
I think this has been such an incredible opportunity for us to reflect on where we come from, because it helps us prepare for the future.
Hmm.
That the work accomplished, in many times at great sacrifice to family, at great sacrifice to personal freedoms, has shown uh, that the lessons that we can learn and draw from their experiences can help inform our future, and OSI's ability to address the many challenges that our nation and our region, but more broadly the world faces. And I think this is just a very appreciative, Wayne, of the work that you have been doing to help bring some of these nuggets, really of great examples where we've had OSI airmen and OSI agents do some incredible things, bring that back to light so we can reflect on it consider it as part of what we need to do to prepare for the future, and then set conditions appropriately. So thanks for doing that.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir, and very well said about the organization, and obviously such a storied legacy that OSI has. It's a story that really needs to be told, so the folks not working within OSI can certainly appreciate the quality of the work and the quality of the people that populate this command. Our guest has been Colonel Benjamin Hatch, the commander of OSI's 6th Field Investigations Region. Colonel, thanks again for taking the time to be with us. Always great to chat with you.
You got it, Wayne. Very, very glad to have been offered this invitation, and I'm glad to help tell our OSI Airman story.
You bet. And thanks to all of you listening for tuning in. For OSI Today, I'm Wayne Amon saying so long for now.